So you save. You know how to go back to? Oh, you're online.
Alright, I'll put this here. Where is it? Because last week we put it, turned it that way, and that wasn't a thing. That was not a thing.
See that I'm doing.
Ah.
Saw a cut.
So typically,
Okay.
it was just a rap session. It was just random.
Oh, this looks good.
It's random stuff that came up. Here, you gotta get in. Okay, yeah.
On this
in
one?
this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is pretty. This is.
Yeah, it's already set up. Because when you say, I say you come down because we don't do a whole lot down here. So.
It was like right on time.
Yeah.
Shucks.
I had to do some photo shoots. I had to get the little whatchamacallit. Because I do it, we see on my Instagram for like the Black Caucus, which just the first year didn't happen.
You need a model?
Mm-hmm. You model?
I will.
Okay. Give me your
Sister
measurements.
need a job.
Yeah. Your measurements, I got you. And the PPEs that we're doing, I can use you on that to call hospitals and, this is commission, but you make a lot of money. Hospitals and government entities, etc. Because we have to mask everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you a sample. So they will order like 30,000, 300,000, a million, something like that. So, well, we add like 5 cents to $1, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's say 300,000, say we only get 5 cents. 5 cents times 300,000. That's a substantial amount. $1, that would be 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the wiggle room we have. It's usually not no more than $1. But they buy in large quantities, 1 million. We have one guy, government contract. So we got like 30, they want 30, let me get it right. It was 30,000 surgical gowns.
Mm.
Or was it 75,000? Can't remember because he was ordering something else. But for lack of, just say it's 30,000. So with that, we make 10 cents per whatever. I want to say it was $1. It was something else. We have another deal with this guy, Howard's guy. He's a rich Jewish guy in New York.
Mm-hmm.
That deal is $50 million. So they just got what we call a proof of life when you show a video of the products in the warehouse with the serial number.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'll order that, and then that's like
18.
25,000. Oh, we talking? We live?
Oh, yeah, we live.
Oh my God.
No, we live. So,
We live.
all right, we live. I need a job though, so we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Because Lord knows.
You got
We
it.
got that. Yes, I have to. That's one of
He's
the.
waving.
While I'm talking, I was just saying I need a job. Since coming home on August 5th, I'm a felon. I had to take a plea, and I became a felon. And finding a job has been a little difficult. So, sister need a job. So, we were just talking about that, and we're gonna come back now. But a sister need a job. So, if you know anybody who is hiring virtually and wouldn't mind. All right, now. Hi, Mr. Paul Randall.
Hello. IG world, Facebook world.
So we are in. I guess this is like week 4 of our Words with Friends little kind of gathering, and it's kind of like this test pilot to see what would it look like and how would people respond to me just talking to people in random spaces about life. Kind of like a spinoff of when we used to have Rap City. You know, when we used to sit around and talk. So just a fireside chat. So this is Paul Randall, who I know from Zion Church with Pastor Keith Battle. We met. That was years ago.
Oh my God. Over 15 years, I would guess.
Man.
10, this is 2020, so what, 2000?
My goodness. That's
Been a while, yeah.
Wow.
Somewhere around that time, yeah.
So yeah, we've known each other for a long time, and we were just talking about how now that we've gotten reconnected to each other, how much we actually have in common.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of it made me think about soulmates. I'm like, I think you're one of my soulmates too. We were talking about that on the last episode about soulmates and whether or not a friend can be a soulmate. Is it just an intimate type of thing, or do you feel like you have been paired?
That's interesting.
With certain people, and
you would know it when it comes to that. Is and on the level of relationship, to say soulmates is important because then that's a connection deeper than the platonic or what you try to portray, because it's just like a natural fit. So just with my experience, when you see that, even in friendship, if it's just a friendship, it's just you just click. And that's the word a lot of people use. When I met, we just click like we've been brothers, sisters, whatever, and you just met them, be it, couple of hours or a day, and that goes to the soul even as friendships.
It's the energy.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of things that just click. Then there's other, and then the opposite happens with certain other people, where there's just like a rub, someone that may be abrasive or whatever, you're just not feeling them, and it may not be that person's a bad person, but for whatever reason, the two of you just don't click. And that doesn't mean that person's not a bad person. It's just everybody's not for everybody. Something that's been coming up lately is food. Some people can eat this, some people can eat that. But I said, it's interesting how God made us all different, because if everyone liked oranges, maybe there would be a shortage on whatever. Not that there would be. Yeah, but we're different, and it's different is not bad. It's just
diversity is actually key. Yes. I mean, if you go back to, if you really look at the root of the foundation of any arena, diversity, the more ideas that are on the table, the better the culmination.
Yes.
Right? Versus it just being your level and your level, or your idea and your idea, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to create you from a team.
Right.
Any day.
Right.
Over just it being you.
Yes.
So diversity is key.
Yeah, friendly competition. In a stew, there's several different ingredients, Carrots, beef, potatoes, whatever. So combined together, it makes the stew.
That'll preach.
Yes. Add a little water,
That'll preach.
Yeah, so everybody's different.
Everybody playing their part.
Yeah, play your part.
Play
and
your
so
position.
if you're on Instagram, you're seeing someone else, a lot of times you watch Instagram or Facebook and you compare yourself. You can't compare yourself to others. This person may make $1 million. This person may make $10 million. Both of them are successful, just different levels. And what makes a person happy? Some persons may be happy at $100,000 a year. Their car is paid off, it's a Toyota, their house is paid off. That is success. There are different levels of success. So everyone has a different ingredient. There could be several apple pies on the table. They all taste good.
Right.
You got crumb apple, you got the one that's regular, and it's another one that has the lines in it. So they have different designs, but they're all good.
Yeah.
So you're the perfect you.
It's funny that you say that. I had an experience one time where I was leaving a site and there were some migrant workers, because I don't know, they were just foreign in nationality, and they were construction workers getting off of work, and it had to be about 10:30 in the evening. And I remember speaking to one of the guys, and I said, "Don't you want to be home with your family?" And he looked at me like I had 4 heads, like. But then immediately when I got outside of myself, I understood that he is feeding his family.
Right.
With this overtime, in which he was chosen to be a part. That's a whole different.
That's a different dynamic. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's like, man, I'm learning to see things from different perspectives. Yeah, that's funny. All right, hold on. Did the old sheep find an issue with a giraffe? No, I don't have issues. Diversity at its finest. All right. So, Paul.
Yes.
Give give me a topic. Give me something that you were I know that when we said we were gonna do this last summer, we were gonna talk about relationships.
That's a hot button all the time.
We were gonna talk about relationships, and we were going to. I had an idea, right? I had an idea that I was the ultimate side chick, right?
Okay.
I had this idea for what would make the ultimate side chick, because the side chick don't get a whole lot of love.
Well, it's like side order, whatever.
Right.
The idea of side meaning just that.
And a compliment, right?
Yeah, that's the side. That's the side. That's what side do you want? So the main dish is what you're getting. So if you want steak or lobster, that's the main dish. The side is just added to it. Not that the sides are not good, but it's the side. But it's the main dish that makes it
the entree.
The entree.
It's the entree.
Yeah,
Okay,
not
that's what's important.
Yeah, that's what's important. So you might be
that.
some potatoes or some string beans and some mac and cheese. Now I know some people make some mean mac and cheese out there. I'm not getting on anybody's mac and cheese, but they're macking. But it's the main course. That's why they call it the main, because it's like that. It's all that you can do without the sides. So people don't get the sides and not get the main course for the most part.
Unless you're vegan.
Even vegan have their main courses.
I typically get sides these days.
Yes.
I do. I typically.
Yeah, because if you vegan or pescatarian, well, even pescatarian, your main is going to be, some type of fish, as it were.
Yeah.
But even with that, that's where the side chick comes from.
The side chick.
Yeah.
So, I had a thought about what if the side chick didn't know that she were a side chick?
Happens every day.
Right?
All so often. They actually think they're the main course.
Because I'm thinking about the connotation that is associated with with the side chick, right? I don't want to be that.
No.
You know what I mean? And so when girls are awakening to the idea of, they're becoming more conscious to side chick isms.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play that position. So guys, I think, have gotten a little more slick.
Yeah.
And they done up the game. A whole new.
And believe it or not, they have. And then the conversations I've been hearing, women they don't mind being a side chick, believe it or not. As long as they're getting
something.
Whatever they're getting. And they're happy, like, okay, but I'm still getting. So, but just know if you're a side, you can be pushed to the side. The main course, I remember watching the movie Ray, and the girl was in the back seat of the car. I don't know if it was Margie, I think it was the other girl. And she was kind of asking him to leave his family. He said, I'm not leaving my family. So lets her know that, and even when I think it was Christmas time, Margie had called this particular time. Said, what you called my phone? He just moved to Beverly Hills, new house. And that lets her know that let her know at that time she was a side chick. So, he spent most time on the road, but the one he's with the most. And you don't want to be a side, you want to be the main course, because you don't want half a man, you want a whole man, and vice versa. He doesn't want a half a woman. I mean, some people like the side chick because they like the chase, they like the fun, they like the thrill. That comes with those who like to cheat, so the thrill of it excites them. That they're able to do that and get away with it.
See, okay, so to me, you just described somebody with layers, right? Yeah. You describe somebody who, especially in the case where the husband says, "I'm not leaving my family."
Right.
So that tells me that this husband has several different layers that are being fed from several different parts of his environment.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And because being a father is important to him at some level.
Right.
Being a husband is important to him. Maybe this side chick is satisfying some layer that is not being fed within the household. Man. And if we are biologically designed that way, what do we do about that?
Keep it excited. Just like your wardrobe.
Right.
You want something, you go out and spice up the wardrobe. So you have to spice up the relationship. People get bored. One of the questions was asked, I'm going to go back. One of the questions was asked before, and we do the men ask women questions and vice versa. The question was asked, why do men cheat? And one person's answer, not saying it was right or whatever, we just listened. And And the guy said, because new never gets old. Which, if you think about it, and every woman did the same response that she did. New never gets old. It was a profound statement. Not saying I agree with, how he's doing, carrying on his relationship. If you get a new car, new whatever, new iPhone, new cell phone, whatever, new never does get old. That was his reason, one of the explanations, let me put it that way, as to why men cheat. Another guy said because he can.
Stumped.
See, I knew it was something because when women get stumped, all the women, every time I've gotten the same response over the years. When he said it that day, I remember where I was sitting, and the room was like quiet.
Because I'm over here. I mean, I can. Okay, so that is low.
Yeah, it's. And it was objective. We weren't judgmental. The women would ask the question because they really wanted to know, why do men cheat? And so the guys would answer. They had the cue cards and they answered the question.
Okay, so it just came to me.
Okay.
Because I just had to process this, right? Novelty, you don't want the novelty to wear off. You don't want new to get old.
Right.
So what that tells me is that this man is getting his sense of validation from whatever this external factor is. Right? That he wants to continue to regenerate. Right. Because the minute that thing is no longer new or novel, he's then turned off.
Exactly.
So me,
that's good.
Right? You don't need to be with somebody who hasn't done the type of work.
You're going into what my next answer is going to be.
Right, because you're not ready. He's not ready. I don't care who's cheating. If you're focused on these external factors pleasing you and dictating where you are, the choices that you make, whether it has anything to do with hurting other people or not. Yeah.
And you said it because here's the thing, and as we're talking, it becomes even clearer. They don't want to put the work in. That's like starting a business and you get bored with it in the first 6 months. You want to quit. You'll never complete anything. Having a baby is like, I don't want to have this baby anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. Life is like that. It's not designed for you to just quit on everything. If that was the case, we'd never get anything done. We'd never have all the inventions and other things if everyone quit. My father would always say, a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. He would instill that in me and my brother. And that's important. A quitter never wins. Why? Because they're always quitting. And a winner never quits. So when it gets rough or difficult, it's not a time to bail. Be it on your job, on your children, on your business, on schooling, whatever it is. You stick it out. You go through it, over it, under it, around it, whatever the
And even with that said, though, I think that it's important that we normalize developmental stages. Yeah. I appreciate the person who is in a developmental stage where they don't have to be as conscious, aware, and mindful of everybody around them. Because that's just where they are. Right. Now, that person I might not want to date to be looking for my future husband. Okay. But I can respect the fact that this is where you are in your journey. Right. They're being honest that this is where I am, not that it's necessarily where you need to be. Now, I mean, and not where you'll stay. Right. Hopefully. You know what I mean? But I think in human nature is the more we push against, okay, you're not in this developmental stage that I'm most comfortable with. Right. So I need you to hurry up and get to the next thing. Right. So then the more you force against me, the more I kind of stay here because you didn't let me explore the stage. Right. And that's we all grow at different paces. Everyone arrives at certain things at different times in life. Number one, we were all born at different times, different names, different times of the year. So I tell people you have to allow people to change, time to grow. So if someone's dealing with an addiction now, let's say this is October 2020, and you bring it to their attention or whatever, there's a period of processing and understanding, and they themselves coming to a point and say, yeah, I need to deal with this. And let's say they do it today. So now you have to allow them. We have the expectancy for people to change overnight, which they didn't get the habit overnight. They didn't get the weight overnight. They didn't get whatever it might be overnight. So I always use the 12-year thing, just like it takes a year for you to pass to the next grade. Allow the person a year
to get, if not fully, to see growth. So I say this time next year, let's
Smart.
see where you're at.
That's
So
right.
that takes the pressure off of them and the expectation off of you, because we expect, and we don't change overnight. We have habits we haven't done. 21 days, they say it takes for a habit to change or a new lifestyle.
Yeah.
So allow that person at least at a minimum 21 days to try to break it. And what we say, you need to stop using drugs. But we never give them the steps of how and what that looks like.
Practically.
So we'll see a cousin, you need to stop. You need to stop eating. So what does that look like to them? What are their challenges? So you offer some suggestions and then come alongside as a coach or accountability person. And what I found out with people who want to lose weight and people who want to exercise, it's easy if you have a coach or a mentor. You get there faster. Been making money, it's been my experience, because they know some things you don't. And just by, if she comes and say, Paul, let's exercise, and by her calling me makes me more, responsible to do it. But if she's not, I'm trying to do it on my own, I may say I'm going to sit it out today.
Accountability.
Yeah, but if accountability will get you to your goal or whatever it is in life you're trying to do. I can't say that enough. Having someone, others to check you.
See, that goes back to diversity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Two are better than one. A threefold cord is not easily broken.
Yeah.
Right? It always goes back to getting outside of self.
Yeah.
Respecting and honoring self.
Yes.
But not stopping there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Then honoring yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So going back to about the guy, in terms of that particular scenario, and then there's some that do, and it was going to the 60s, the swingers or whatnot. Here's my take on that. You can do what you want to do, but there are consequences.
Consequences and repercussions.
Listen, people say, well, monogamy is an age-old thing. I said, okay. I've heard that. I've seen it. But here's what happens. Let me give you some basic things. One in particular. Let's say you say, okay, I'm going to do the swinging lifestyle or whatever. Or you want to do the, married several. Someone will always outperform the other. Okay, we can go biblical, Abraham and his wife and the concubine. There's going to be a level, you can say they're married, whatever, and may not, but internally, how's this person relate? You don't know what's inside a person's mind unless they share it with you. So if one person outperforms, and it happens all the time, that lifestyle's like, okay, somebody's going to be better. So you take the risk of doing that, and then, but so if that's what you want to do.
But again, diversity says, right, you're better in that instance, but now that tells me that better can be achieved. Right. So now when now you gave me a goal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now I'm shooting to get to where you were and just above it, so that I can say that that's the friendly competition. Mm-hmm. But that's created in community. And
that happens in other places too. And you have to know that putting the work in, like we were saying before, if you put the work in, whatever the relationship, be it parental, business, whatever, there's a level of work involved. You can't be lazy.
Period.
It's relationship, business.
Period. That's just energy 101.
Yeah, you want to put it, so, he comes home, she comes home, different outfit, whatever the situation might be. Taking trips, doing things differently, because people get into the mundane. We do the same routine. Go to work, come home. Mm-hmm. So you naturally going to get bored eventually. So you want to say, okay, what are you going to plan? Let's go horseback riding. Let's go skiing. Let's do something we've never done.
Yeah.
Keep learning. That would be my best advice. And have fun together.
Which ties to, you can't be with somebody who always wants something new.
Right.
Because if they're always exploring a new partner, then they always exploring new levels of themselves, right?
Right.
So do they really know their own inner layers?
That's true.
To be open enough to say, let's do something we've never done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And sometimes that could be that they don't want to look inside. Not saying that's the reason. And you have to look at the individuals and say, well, what's going on? Why do you, because that exploring has, at some point, let's say as a man and he exploring, how many children will you have in this exploration?
Right.
So now then there's a whole nother issue.
Accountability.
Right. Now the children want they're all over the place. One in Texas, one in Houston, another one in Nicaragua somewhere. So now that nucleus you created, how do you nurture that? So now you have all these shattered lives you put, in place.
And
then,
that's the karma behind that.
Yes.
My God.
Yes, the emotional.
Because it's for the same reason, energies. It
Yes.
doesn't die.
It doesn't. So,
it doesn't die, so what you sow, you will reap.
Yeah. So somebody's going to want more time than another. So if you're going to be the side chick, let's say it's your birthday, but then it may be something going on with him in his main course, and you're not available. He's not available for you. So you emotionally, you just took a hit, which, wasn't designed to be that way, because if that was the case, at one point it was, they could have many, and some cultures still do that, but it's still ramifications behind it. So it's up to them.
And that hit causes scar tissue.
Yes.
And that's what I posted a little earlier, man. The tear, the scar tissue is tougher and more sturdy than the break.
The break, I just saw that on your
right.
Post.
So you keep yourself in that position. All you do is every time he breaks your little heart, you create another layer of scar tissue on top of that break.
Yes.
So and that's just science.
Yeah. You don't heal.
You cannot heal because it's under so many other layers.
You got layers or walls, and you're building a wall on top of a wall, and it's a lot. You complicate something that needs not to be, and just put the work in and really be creative. I mean, really just say, okay, we watch television and watch a lot of things. 1 hour out of the day, you could plan a whole lot for that week, month, or what have you, to say, let's list several things that we can do together. Just off the bat, several yourself. Bowling Monday, Tuesday. Not that you're going to do something every day, but as you're doing these activities, because we're so busy being more like business all day,
corporate,
we leave the fun out. Having fun, taking time. If you have kids, the same thing. Just making things creative, because that's how relationships keep. And learn to laugh with one another.
That's big for me.
Yeah, find the fun. Yeah,
that is big for me, because I'm a whole goofball.
Yeah, it's fine. Laugh at each other. Laugh at and like someone told me years ago, don't take yourself so serious.
That changed the game.
Yes.
Not taking myself so seriously.
Don't take yourself so serious.
Changed it, because I am such a dork. I'm such
really?
I'm such a geek. And I'm goofy. And so trying not to tap into those levels of myself was terrible. I mean, it was terrible, because I'm trying to keep up with this image.
Right.
That says that I can't be those layers. I have to only be this one thing. So man, being free to tap into this diversity within myself.
Yes.
To tap into all of those layers and say, now put them all together and make that stew that you were talking about.
Yeah, because we all, fall prey to that, trying to be someone else. But I like how Barack said when he was running the first time. He said, "You are the you you've been waiting for." Never forget that. You are the you you've been waiting for, not somebody else. Yes. You are the you you've been waiting. That's a profound statement.
Gosh, that just took me so many different levels.
Yes, because there's nobody like you. That's why you were born like no other time than anyone else, with the same name, with the parents you had, and with the skill set that you have. And
with your dreams. See, this is the thing that I'm learning now. You are born with your dreams.
Which is unique.
And no dream is too big.
And no dreamer too small. There's no dream too big and no dreamer too small.
My God, because you think about, if you are the you've been waiting for, and we've all been waiting for your dream, your specific piece of this puzzle. Like when the little kids play like a symphony of the bells, and the little kids have one
I love
little
that.
ding,
but they all make one.
Everybody knows when to play their part.
I like that.
Right? That's going back to playing your position.
Everybody knows when to play their part.
Man, and that's only
good.
you only get there through authenticity. You can only get there through completely accepting and loving who you are and being okay with all of those layers and how they fit together to make a you.
Yes.
And be cool with that.
Yes, that's important.
That's the only way I can accept you for all the layers you bring.
Yes, because we all have layers.
So it's got to be work done.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you ain't woke for real, you don't need to be dating.
Really?
For real.
It's an eye opener. And see, to save you from the hurt. And more so for women, because women are designed to be paternal and nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maternal.
every relationship is like to the heart and to the soul for a woman.
Yeah.
Men, we can walk away because we're here.
Our connection's deep.
Right. So women, when they come into a room, they change the thermostat because they're coming to nurture and they are relationship oriented. Not that men can't be, but women are that designed so it hurts them deeper in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So your risk factor is higher as it relates to relationship than for a man.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's not our core.
You don't have that connection.
Yeah, that's not our core competence.
Because you are not mother.
Right. We don't have a womb. We're not connected. So a woman is the glue to keep the family together because she meets the emotional needs of the family. A man, we're not emotional. So when a little boy falls down, say, wipe your face off. Clean yourself up. You'll be okay. A mother's going to say something totally different. Come here, baby.
Come here, boo.
And then they're going to try to wipe them off. You okay? That's not what a man does.
Nah, I done told you that.
Yes. And that's the difference between male and female. And it's a time for that.
And we can flip. We can code switch.
Yes.
We can jump back and forth
Yes.
between the masculine and the feminine energy.
And so with that, you'll find out that my point was that women, it takes you longer to recover. So in relationship, you take the greater hit. So you have to know that. And it's more risk on you. Men can't get pregnant. If men could get pregnant, it wouldn't be as,
Change the game.
Change the game. Thank God we can't get. So you're at a greater risk. So in terms of that, even when men cheat and stuff like that, they have someone who's single. I said, you should at least level the playing ground because a single person ain't got nothing to lose. They got to listen. They're single. A lot of times, he's married, he has a career,
Everything to lose.
may have a position, children. You losing all that. A single person losing nothing. Maybe some sleep. So, not saying you should cheat, but I'm just saying you have to pros and cons. You got to weigh.
Be equally yoked, even in thine cheating.
And that's a good one. You gonna mess up the right way. I'm not saying you should
check
mess
as
up.
many boxes as you can.
But count the cost.
That
Count the cost. She's single, you married. You have more to lose than he or she does. If they're single and you're married, you losing your family, your career, your business, your position, and if you're in the church or whatever, politics or whatever. This person, you say, who is she? And I'm use Clinton for example. That was an intern. She did take a hit. He got impeached. She's an intern. No one knew her. She got fame out of it, believe it or not. Now we know Monica Lewinsky. Because of it.
It struck me what you were saying about a male's the list of male's positions and things that could be lost.
Yeah.
I wonder if our black men feel valued enough that is validation for them. Those positions, losing something, losing this, or are our men feeling valued that they are having these positions? And because why risk it all?
Because of the moment. They have a moment of temporary insanity. They're not thinking. Because that's once again, the greatest emotion is love. Not that they were in love or anything like that. And then lust is a strong emotion too. And for men are visual, whereas it doesn't take much for a man. So when a man sees a woman, right now we're living in an X-rated society, believe it or not. From a male's perspective, because inside this male body, we see things all day, so we have stimuli all day. In 2020 versus 2000, it's been a huge change. So all day, I remember one of the pastors, they went to Africa.
That's something.
Yeah, and they noticed, because the women would cover from head to toe, he'd ask the question, did you feel what I feel? Did you feel like you said no? Because it wasn't nothing. It was nothing to look at and to stimulate. So we're being stimulated,
Wow.
let alone on Instagram, Facebook, television, commercials. For a man, if you be honest with you, he'll tell you, he's like, oh, that doesn't bother me. He's not in touch, or he has been over sensationalized that he don't realize what's turning him on. But if he was hooked up to a machine, something happens to the pupils and the eyes when they're attracted or going into like strong lust or whatever, a desire to have someone. So when, put it this way,
there has to be chemical levels that raise
right,
when you
have an
express
attraction.
desire.
Right, desire. That's good. That's
right.
good. Because for
so
a
that
man,
that can be monitored.
yes, because here's the thing: when a man sees a woman naked, and let's say it's his wife, if he got no feelings or had no feelings, it's either one or two things: either you're dead or you're gay. You don't have an attraction for her. Because God made the female anatomy to be attracted to the male. So as soon as we see you and you're naked or half naked, we're supposed to get
Arousal.
right, an arousal. And
Those
that's,
chemical levels.
right,
And
right.
that's on a
The pheromone-
biological level.
Yes, so that's how he keep the population going. It's in the animal kingdom as well. You know, that's why they're sniffing or whatever, tell the male, female, and you know, the pheromones or what have you. So that's by design that we're to track. So my point is this: men are stimulated all day through visual. Women are more on the emotional side. That's why you know, like Harlequin romances, the Hallmark Channel, things like that appeal, because women can get in an emotional affair. Because they visualize Denzel Washington, Eldris Elvis, I'm messing his name up. Idris Elba, you know, and Will Smith. The list goes on. But in their mind, they're having this. You will never know the conversation that's going on. So
and I think that there's something that you guys miss, because what we don't talk about is the nurturing part of those conversations that we're also having. We are a mother.
Yes.
You know, so he's fine.
Yeah.
But there you go. But I know I'm gonna have to help him out with this, that, and the third.
Yes.
I think, especially as a black woman, I feel compelled. It's like innate in me to say, how do I fix you up? How do I make you better? I mean, you could have it all, and I'm like, well, what I gotta do to rev it up a little bit? You know what I mean? But I think that is just the nurturer in me, wanting to see my loved ones thrive. You know, and that's a deep connection. That's
an important connection, and it's in a woman's nature to make things better. A man gives her a house, and she gives him a home. So it may have no furniture, but a woman has the ability to create and make things better. Because after all, she did come out of the side, so something is missing. So when a man has been married, and I find this interesting because when women see a married man, this doesn't happen with men when we see a woman with a man that's married. A woman is attracted to a married man because it seems like there's something extra, and the woman who's married to him made him better. So there's an attraction for women to a married man, believe it or not. Because I remember when I was married, the ring, I thought it would repel, but it did just the opposite.
I always thought it was, well, you know that he made that decision once, so at least you know he would get married.
Okay,
like,
I didn't know this. I would have to hear from a woman, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I've always thought that, like, because I never understand the attraction, but I'm like, maybe she feels like, well, at least he is in the game. That's close. At least I know that about him, that he is willing to be married. Maybe I'm closer to the altar at some point. It makes no sense to me, but I try to think about it on a molecular level. Like, what is that attraction? Yeah, and it happens because I got so many. I'm thinking just the opposite, but the ring was not a repellent, but it was a magnet. So it was like a case study for me. I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah, it's like, so God, he's with us, guys. Yeah, yeah. He's one of us. So the war went up. So the attraction. So I don't know. It's a thing of being established, security,
knows what he wants. So it just, and I'm just saying for men, it's
It
different
could
for
be
men.
competition too. It could be that external validation where I want to prove that I'm better than her by making him choose me over her.
And that's interesting because women have that dynamic going on. Because what a man would do if I see you with someone that, if I see a woman that's married, it's not a thing that for men.
Competition.
Right. It's not like I want to get with her. It's like, okay, let me move on to the next, someone who's not married. For someone who has a code. Mm-hmm. So if you don't care, you just whoever. But I'm saying for those who value the institution of marriage and someone being with someone else, when a man sees another woman with a man, he doesn't have a need to go to her and try to get her attention or whatever. For those who not like trying to just pull anyone. But for women, it's been my experience that, and I talked to other men about it too, that it's an attraction for whatever reason when they get the ring on. And then, and to give you an example, and like if let's say I went to a club or something, and I went alone, okay, everything, not that nothing happened, but let's say I went alone. Let's say I came in and I bring you Sheikah. Now the attraction is even, for whatever reason, I've noticed is all the women start looking. It's just like they want what they can't have. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed the difference.
I think it's inbred in us. I think somewhere we're getting the message that as women we have to compete for the attention of a man.
Yes, and for other things. I know women tend to. I'm glad you brought it up. Women tend to dress for other women.
Mm-hmm. I'm competing with her for your attention. Right. So when we care about what we put on and how this works, y'all don't care about that, but it ain't about you.
Right.
I just need to know that at the end product, after I do all of this stuff, your radar is gonna go off for me. Right. And depending on how much of that is necessary that I'm looking for, that I need, I can get double points. If I get a married man,
that might be how they're thinking.
I can get double points. That's double value because that means he cared about me so much that he left all of them for me. That ain't really even about him.
Right.
That's about me.
And that's good. Here's the point. Even when it comes to women staying in a marriage is bad, they stay in it for their friends and not necessarily for themselves. Because they're wondering, what is everybody else going to think? What are my girlfriends? It could be a tumultuous. I've seen this numerous times. I'm glad you brought that up. They're in it for their girlfriends and not for themselves, and not even for the husband. So if you're in an abusive or a relationship that's just is cheating, and you trying to save face so you can say you stayed married for 30, 40 years, no. If he's doing that, you're hurting yourself. You're not in a relationship for your girlfriends.
Period.
You're not dressing for your girlfriends.
But that is it. But if you think about it, it is very countercultural, almost counterbiological to push away from that because growing up, we grow up within community with our peers.
That's true.
We're comparing each other. I'm learning what I've learned. Right. I've learned whether or not I'm maturing or not developmentally based on my peer.
Right.
And then I get older and you tell me they ain't got nothing to do. Mm-hmm. That's tough.
Yeah. And that is not tough, and I think in this country, because in other countries it's different, we feel like this is the only place, but when you travel and you go to other places, you'll see it's different. We have a lot of schisms here, and family and things like that has just been warped. And with that, going back to being an individual, if you feel like dressing a certain way, be comfortable in what you have on. I mean, as long as it's decent, nothing crazy. And you don't need a second opinion. Not that you're not saying, is this okay? How do I look? That's different.
That's confirmation.
Right, that's confirmation. But be secure in yourself that what you put on and what you're doing, you're happy and confident in that.
I think that is what our issue, I think it's a huge issue with us today in the era of technology and social media. And it's like these babies, we are starting to crave outside validation to such high degrees. And it's not about learning who I am and what I like and what I don't. It's not
Right.
about me at all.
Right.
I'm trying to copy off of you
Right.
and what you like.
Right.
And what works for you and what does. And it's like we're all doing that to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating because again that rips away diversity because it says either you're right or I'm right and that's it.
Right. Right.
So there's absolutely no gray,
No gray.
no diversity.
No diversity.
Where do we go from there?
And that's the effects of social media and being able to peer into everybody's life every minute of the day,
Mm-hmm.
second hour, what it might be to say, hey, you know what? I'm comfortable in my own skin. This is good. You know, if I only have 1,000 followers, watch this. This is the crazy part about it. 1,000 followers. You know how many people that is? That's a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
1,000. You can fill up a room. That's enough.
Yes.
That's not enough. No, I need 10,000 followers.
Until you catch a case. And then you wondering how all these people know me. See, I used to think I didn't have a large following list.
No.
It was like I only got like 200-300 people.
That's a lot.
When you get in trouble and your mugshot is plastered all over the internet
That's a
by
lot.
all these people.
Yeah.
Then it's funny because my kids ask me, "Mommy, is 2 a little or a lot?" We've been talking about this all week. Is 2 a little or a lot? And I'm like, really, it's about perspective.
Yeah.
Because if I'm an elephant, 2 is just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If those are peanuts.
Right.
But if there are 2 elephants,
Mm-hmm.
then that's a lot.
Right.
So it depends on what's the person. What are we talking about? What is the reason? And I think that's with so many different things.
Right.
It's taking it past the superficial and into the context of, well, what was happening in that moment?
Right.
You know what I mean? How did we get here?
Right.
How did we come across this? So yeah, I can go on over there with that.
But that's perspective, and so people have to realize, you know, what's enough for them. And don't compare yourself to anyone else. You know,
That's the word.
because
Jesus
you are.
said it. Don't
yeah,
compare yourselves
yeah,
amongst yourselves.
Yeah, because you're uniquely you. God made you specifically in a certain. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and marvelous are thy works, and that thy soul knows right well. So you are made with a specific DNA, specific purpose, talents, gifts, etc. And you are the only you. You know, so
Nobody has your dream.
no comparison. So people with 10,000 followers, hey, that's a stadium. You know, that's the Verizon Center, downtown DC.
And
So-
am I really supposed to have that from my couch
Yeah,
when I don't do anything to contribute to society
And you
that
can-
way? Why am I even expecting that?
that's a powerful platform. Even if you have 1,000 more on your Instagram, Facebook, you have a responsibility. You don't have to do it or not. I would just say that in terms of what are you giving them? Okay, if you're making them laugh, laugh is good. Laughter does good like a medicine. That's substance for people. Some people need to laugh. But what are you contributing? When you leave the world,
Yeah, you have a moral obligation, in my opinion,
Well-
to pay attention to your stamp and your footprint that
Yes.
you leave here
yes,
in this plane.
yes. What would be your legacy? What would people say about you if you were to die today or whatever? Oh, she was a bad dresser. He was a bad dresser.
Okay,
Is that it? That's your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for?
that's big.
That's the key. That's the key to life. What do you want to be remembered? What did you do while you were here on this earth to impact
Change the world.
your generation or those around you? What did you do that added significance to others, not just yourself? Because, you know, you got your car, you got your house. Okay, now show someone else how to do the same. Or do
And
something
again, it's
significant
kind of
for them.
like the dating. Everybody doesn't have to be in that place
Exactly.
at the same time.
Exactly.
But the ones who aren't there,
Exactly.
y'all ain't ready to date.
Yes.
You ain't ready to have a platform yet.
No.
It ain't your time. It just ain't your time
Yeah.
because you don't know what to do. You haven't matured to the place to know what to do with it.
Yeah. Because
Right.
preparation is never lost time. So you're in the preparation stage.
But then you can even take it past that because there's so much that we can get out of the person who wasn't their time making the mistakes that they made.
Yeah, that's true.
right?
It's a learning process.
So like, can we ever point fingers? Can we ever really responsibly shoot negative energy in the direction of anything for real?
Right.
If you really kind of look under the hood, you can't throw no stones.
No.
Shoot.
People with glass houses can't.
Come on with the glass house. This was fun.
This was enlightening.
This was fun. I think we are two sides of some type of coin.
Some type of coin.
Yeah, this was a good. It's a good mix of spirituality and reality.
And that's what we all need, because we're
reality.
both.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we
we're
are.
Both. We're not just humans beings. You need to be.
Yeah.
And that's why we're a being.
Human being.
Yes.
Being is always evolving.
It's a state, yeah.
It's always evolving. It's always something else.
Yes.
So that means evolution is always happening. So what human being was a year ago is not human being today.
Yeah.
We see that just with technology. We didn't think that we could think the way that we think and do all the stuff that we're doing.
Right.
How long ago?
Yeah.
Because we're always being.
Yeah. 2020 is a great awakening of that. You know,
Goodness gracious.
with all that has been done this year, planned and unplanned.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's just our perspective and how we respond to
And then we
certain
adjust.
Yeah.
We that comes up and
Right.
life happens, and then we're being again.
Yeah.
You know, we're adjusting and we make, because I was saying, I tell you what, any insurance, anything after this is going to have to be pandemic proof.
Yeah.
You know,
It just
that's the new thing now.
brought us another sense of awareness and another level of resilience that we had that we didn't know. Create new businesses out of chaos.
Being.
People thought they couldn't survive, and they did. Their 9 to 5 wasn't it.
Being.
Wasn't, you know. So yeah, we have more. It's going back to the layers. On a positive note, we have more layers than what we think. We would say, "Oh, I can't take anymore." That's what we say out of our mouths. My friend always said, "You have 65% more left in you." He would always say that. He said, "You have 65% more left in you." So whenever you already say you know you're gonna quit, you're saying it out of your mouth. But by the same token, you can say, "I'm not gonna quit." You know, life and death is in the tongue. So whatever
My
you say.
auntie Yalin taught me to say, I can do anything for a little while.
For a little while, I like that.
I can do
Grandma's got those
anything for a
famous
little
one-liners. I can do it. That thing take
That
you
got
to the
me
grave.
through.
I can do anything for a little while. That's Grandma say. And
That thing got me
in scripture,
through.
it's her own way. Like I can do all things through Christ, but
Yeah.
Grandma say, I can do anything for a little while.
For a little, again,
And
because
then-
you always it's perspective again.
Yeah,
It goes right back to, is too big or small.
Yeah, it's very
because
profound.
in the positive perspective, a little while can last,
Yeah,
but it can still feel like a little while.
right. And that's encouraging. The statement itself is encouraging, because once you say it, I can do anything for a little while.
And it become a mantra.
Right. Other than saying, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And I've never said that.
Let's change those.
And I tell people that, you know, to change that terminology, having used that since maybe, I don't know, my 20s, if that.
Yeah, we gotta change that.
I don't say if it's one thing, it's another. When it rains, it pours. You'll never hear me say any of those. It's just, when something happens, just happen, I keep moving.
Right.
Go through it, around it, over it.
Because what we don't know is that we're
Yeah.
using, the Four Agreements said, Miguel Ruiz said that we're then using black magic. And if everything is a manifestation of itself and coming back to you, then you just spoke that.
Yeah,
So you have to expect it. That's also part of being,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
If a being created us, and that being, we're able to be just like that being. So
Yeah.
we're always creating.
Always
and
creating.
that creation is coming through, it's our mouths,
Yeah.
it's our words.
Yes, which is powerful, because the universe is always expanding. Modern scientists tell you that every day it's growing. So we're constantly growing. We have the capacity. This computer, this device, these devices are designed to hold a certain amount of information. Like that, our minds, actually the computer was designed from the human mind. So we're constantly growing. We have more capacity to hold than all these devices put together because we're limitless.
Because come on and say it. We
are
the model.
limitless.
And we look at computers like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Not understand that computers are modeled based on the human brain.
Yeah.
So the oh my God is really us.
Yeah. We are it.
We are it. All
it.
that it can do is mimicking what we have always been able to.
Right. Because guess what? We made it. Not we as in we.
Yeah, but yeah.
It was created.
It was created.
Human beings.
So it can't be smarter than.
Yes. We're just being.
Yeah, we were being.
Being. Not human doings.
Being.
Be.
That's big. We're gonna have to talk about that next time because human doing versus human being.
Yes.
You know, this part of my life is more of me being.
Yes.
And accepting who I am, the right, wrong, per your say right or wrong, indifferent.
Yes.
And that's allowing me to just be.
Yes.
Instead of doing and trying and figuring and, you know, it's like another level of peace when you can just be. And then whatever that is, accept what it is and just continue to be.
Yeah, to be. Not to do. You thinking doing things, you know, is the thing. And the one particular passage when Jesus told Martha, 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 thou art concerned about much. But he said Mary had chose the better part. She was doing. A lot of stuff. Fixing the table. You think your service.
Busy.
You know, being a busy bee. No. You can be busy, but are you productive? That's the key. You can be busy, cleaning up, whatever, but guess what? The house can only be so clean. Your purpose, you know, clean it to a level where it's good, it's sufficient. But you don't want to be, you want to spend the rest of your life being a maid. You want to have purpose. Is okay, this is clean. And so people come to your house, you want them to be comfortable. And they can't sit on anything. So,
but what's next is because you did all of that work, you're going to look for validation for the people that finally come in to say, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful.
Right.
So you really did that for validation.
Yeah, that's true.
You really did that whole thing. That wasn't about you. Right. That was about me needing validation. So I planted the seeds that I could to hopefully get the harvest of attention.
Right.
Right? Instead of just coming out and saying, yo, I need attention.
Right, exactly. And that's okay.
And that be okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
But see, that's what happens when we're all about self and we trying to be so strong and I got this myself and being this independent. We lose the voice of the crowd when we lose diversity. Yes. And it's only you.
Yes.
So who is there to help you to think outside of your perspective? Because I used to always say, I always thought I was right because I was only talking to myself.
Self-talk.
So I always thought I was right. But it wasn't until I started to entertain other perspectives, reading other books, other religions, spirituality groups, tarot. I mean, I delved into it all and gleaned what the truth, because there's truth in all of that because God is everything and everything is God. Right? So there's some truth in all of it.
And so you find out.
I found out what it worked for me.
And see, people have to to do the work.
That's
do the work and go inside.
That's what Auntie Ayana told me to do the work.
Do the work. That's the key component. Just do the work.
Do your work.
That's why it's called work. Because sometimes work is hard.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the reward.
It always yields.
Yeah, there's a reward behind it. So
it always yields.
You have to know that.
So we are going to sign off there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
We kind of just bounced off, just flowed. It was like church, but not.
Yeah. Bouncing around.
Hey. So we will see you next. If you guys have anybody that you know will be interested in being a guest on Words with Friends and having your time to sit and talk with me, just like Paul here, send me an inbox and let me know, and we can make that happen. We will see you again next week at Sunday at 9. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.